everyone, my name is Kate, and today I'm going to talk about green energy for a sustainable and equitable future. And throughout my presentation, you'll notice four emerging themes while I discuss why we need green energy, popular types of green energy, and a path to transitioning to renewable energy. And those themes are energy security, improved public health, and increased economic opportunities and environmental benefits. Why do we need green energy anyway? In our textbook, we learned that there are four interrelated main dimensions to the current energy predicament as it stands. They are source and supply problems, population, economic growth and development problems, global policy and geopolitical problems, and sink problems. The source and supply problem is that fossil fuels are finite and unstable resources, but by reducing demand with green energy, we can stretch those resources out. Population and economic growth and development presents as a problem because without becoming more energy conscious, we would need a much more expensive and expansive energy grid than we have to support population growth. As far as global policy and geopolitical problems go, there are two glaring issues. One is that the U.S. has supply-sided policies that favor keeping energy prices low in order to enable increasing the amount of energy consumed. The other is that as our supplies go down, prices will go up, and countries that cannot purchase at higher prices will face increased hunger and poverty. That in itself is a violation of the UN's 17 sustainability goals. Those are no poverty, zero hunger, and affordable and clean energy. Shifting the lens, the current energy system has a larger problem than source security, and that is its sink. There are two main ways oils get into the oceans. Humans dumping the waste oil on land that eventually makes its way into waterways and then into the ocean, and oil spills and leaks. Oil spills and leaks destroy both local economies dependent on various types of fishing and recreation, as well as the ability of those areas to maintain localized sustainable food systems. Human health and the health of plants, animals, and ecosystems are all negatively affected by the nitrous and sulfur oxides produced by oil and coal combustion. Another unseen sink is disposal of old, inefficient appliances. Our landfills are overflowing and our toxins are leaching. While old, inefficient appliances would have to be thrown out eventually anyway, part of addressing green energy from a sustainable lens is finding ways to reuse and recycle the outdated technology and keeping the unusable parts from further damaging the environment. In addition, we stand to benefit from green energy in spades with cleaner air, reduced greenhouse gases, preserved resources for the future, and the promotion of biodiversity conservation due to reduced habitat destruction. Public health will improve and we will see less of a strain on our healthcare system due to the decreased exposure to heavy metals, mercury, lead, and other toxins released in combustion, and reduced pollution creates lower rates of cardiovascular disease and asthma. And as well as in addition to that, we'll see a reduced mental illness and tax mental health due to reduced stress about impending climate change. When we empower people to take change, they embrace it. Even though most of us are familiar with these, I'm going to review them from a sustainability lens quickly. Efficiency, although not a physical resource, is the fastest, most cost-effective way to reduce the demand on sources like fossil fuels at scale with the least demands on current societal lifestyles. Biodiesel burns cleaner, helping keep countries from exceeding carbon budgets, and is easily renewable using crops like corn and soybeans, so it's accessible even to lower income countries. Hydroelectric, even though it's renewable, it's problematic and unsustainable, and that dams have destroyed traditional fishing grounds and decimated fish populations. This connects directly to sustainable development goals of reduced inequality, sustainable communities, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and life below water. Wind power is excellent for home use and ties well with solar, which is financially viable for most middle and upper class families, but it should be subsidized for lower income and underserved populations. A successful and sustainable transition to renewable energy depends on centering communities in inclusivity. When we look at it from a systems perspective, if we offer tax breaks and other incentives for businesses that retrofit for renewable energy and efficiency, the working class is immediately positively impacted by an increase in jobs installing these systems. This reflects on Sustainability Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Ways to ensure equal access to affordable clean energy, Sustainability Goal 7, is ensuring that there is policy and landlord-tenant law that protects low-income households. In addition, this can be taken as an opportunity to update Section 8 housing and shelters. When we center and include communities when writing policy, we have the greatest outcomes for equality. If we fail to do this, we will see a continuation and escalation of the current energy inequalities. Our underserved communities will continue to be the ones that suffer the most from the financial burdens and rising temperatures, outages, and pollution, and wildfire smoke, while physically and financially benefiting the least from upgrades. For example, the Los Angeles Equity Strategies shows that the current solar compensation rates are projected to increase 131% for low-income families and only 79% for everyone else. This backward policy is not limited to solar. If the same terms used in financing gas plants were used to finance wind power, then construction costs could drop by 40% of what they are. Another way to address equal access to energy across income groups is studying the unique energy needs of low-income groups and writing policy that protects and supports them. If we understand how low-income families and varying communities use their energy, we can build policy that offers subsidies for retrofitting, insulation, and appliances that brings them the biggest benefit. One barrier to making these policy changes is public education. Many people incorrectly assume that our underserved communities are taking handouts and are working the system, when in reality, our underserved community members pay disproportionately higher amounts for energy while suffering the most from climate change. Another related barrier is misinformation and propaganda spread to make people believe that renewable energy will harm the environment and economy more than it will help. This graphic from the LA Inequity Strategies document shows that of the residential incentives analyzed, only 23% of money is for the electric vehicles and 38% that was allotted for solar, and 46% allotted for efficiency incentives went to disadvantaged communities. To summarize, the issue is that without the intervention of renewable resources, we will see a continued decline in environmental and public health, continued disparities due to climate change, and loss at an opportunity for economic growth from renewable resources. Implementing renewable energy in a way that observes the 17 development goals starts with investing in renewable energy in a way that prioritizes affordable access to underserved communities and job opportunities for the working class. This can be achieved with equitable policies that support community-centered renewable energy production and no and low interest loans for qualifying demographics. One of the biggest things that came up for me during my project was that I was addressing this from looking at developed countries. I would like to dive into this more and learn about how renewable energy can bring developing countries economic, educational, health, and scientific opportunities to create a more equitable world for all. For anyone interested in learning more about equitable renewable energy, I highly recommend looking up the video, The Role of Local Energy Communities in Clean Energy Transitions on YouTube. And I'll list it in my references as well.